Hi and welcome to another episode of Degen BJJ with me, Irish Mike, and my co-host
Ken.
Hey, we're back in the room. Yeah?
I wanted to initially address some criticism I received at the weekend about how I say my name at the start of the show. When we were out for drinks after training, everyone was saying that I was taking a piss out of how deadpan I am. So over the next few weeks, I'm going to try different approaches to saying Ken. It's quite a one syllable word that kind of lends itself to coming out quite like Ken. So.
Okay, I understand. I was coming in, it's funny you say this, because I was coming in just when we were getting here, and I said, well, I'll just come in like a radio DJ voice for the crack. Go, hi and welcome to Degen BJJ with me, Irish Mike, and my co-host Ken. Hey Ken, how are you getting on today? You know, and I just said, no, I won't. And then I was wondering why you jumped out of your chair when you said your name.
Yeah, man, I was told to put some energy into it. So there you go, critics. I hope you're happy, and if not, don't worry, there'll be a different approach next week. But
something to look forward to.
Exactly. Keep listening for the different Kens. How you been, Mike? Anyway, it's been a while since it's been just us two. Back to
basics.
Single digit listeners.
yeah. But thanks to Andrew for coming on. It's been received really well. But back in the fucking on the roller coaster on the way back down. I was on the way up enjoying things, and now it's on the way back down. Just fucking, in my own head about my jiu-jitsu. As I'd say, if it was talking about someone else, I'd say his head's falling off, and that's kind of the way I am at the minute, I think.
What do you mean?
I just fucking, I don't know. I think ego is a fucking thing, even when you don't think you have an ego, that kind of way.
One of the biggest myths is there's no ego in the sport.
Just, I think it's probably speaking to the level of other people getting better rather than my own level. That it's just people, you be rolling what you feel and you should be doing better against, or you're getting caught in things that you shouldn't be getting caught in, and things are coming. Like, I mean, we had a roll last night. I mean, Rectire was like, oh, you're going for the air bar, or you're going for triangle. Yeah. And I know it was a bit of a bounce of roll, and it's actually something that I think we should ask people if do they hate it when people talk while they're rolling, because I like to give a bit of shit every now and again.
That's a good one. Like with my mates, I think a bit of banter is fine. But I did nearly get my tongue. If I wasn't wearing a gum shield, I think I would have probably bitten off the end of my tongue. But it was. I was rolling with squish actually, and I ended up catching a knee in a transition. I think it was squish. It was at my house anyway, and I bit my tongue into my gum shield. So like my tongue was between my bottom row of teeth and my gum shield, and it was so numb where I bit it so hard. I genuinely thought I'd bit off the end of my tongue. So I was looking round to see if like a bit of my tongue had come out, and then feeling my mouth to see if there was or looking at my hand to see if there's any blood. But yeah, that made me think about when I'm rolling and chatting, but I think when it's with mates, like you can have a bit of a laugh, but it really does some people's head in.
Yeah, some people, that's what I'm saying, but like I think I might get away with it because of the way my personality is on the mat. I think maybe there might be a certain amount of it. Like Rob will be fucking me up, like, and I'll be on the receiving end of some fucking torture, like, and I'll chat to Rob purposely because I think he finds it funny and he probably enjoys the role a bit more, because whether I talk to Rob or not, he's going to fuck me up. Shout out to Rob Crawford.
Yeah, I think it's like, with people it's fine, but if you're dropping into a new gym and you
must do you know what, I'll actually try it for the crack.
Giving it
next when we do the away day, I'll talk shit to someone.
I'll be like, I don't know that guy. We just happen to walk in at the same time. Like,
I'll just say, I didn't mean anything by it, but if you go back and listen to my podcast episode.
Shameless plug at a stranger's gym. Yeah. But yeah, I'm just happy to be back on the mats really after, what was it, about 4 weeks ago now?
Yeah, you were really, like, you were out properly there for 2 weeks, weren't you? Like properly out, like no training, not sparring, like, and all that. Man. Like, it might have even been a bit longer, was it? Yeah,
it kind of ties in with the question that I actually wanted to get into today. So, we were going to talk about kind of everything that's going on and the shit that's going on in the jiu-jitsu world, but we can actually just go straight into that, and then last we like to
loop back
round. So yeah, it was Vahan actually a couple of weeks back before the squish episode. We didn't have time to ask on the squish episode. He was sort of effectively saying he's a blue belt who hasn't trained for about 6 months due to overworking. Luckily he's changing jobs and needs advice. I think he was injured a bit as well, needs advice getting back into it other than just turn up advice. So yeah, one of the things I wanted to ask you was like, what was your your longest layoffs from jiu-jitsu? Because other than COVID, this rib injury for me is the longest I've been unable to do any jiu-jitsu, and then my first proper rolls were yesterday.
I think that's a good one now, actually. I think when I went home and I got sick when I went home and I couldn't train, but that was through sickness. But without training, I never really stopped training unless I was sick, in which case I wasn't going into, because I didn't want to infect anyone else. But there was a period where I was just kind of not happy with where I was in jiu-jitsu and stuff like that, and I used to go to the pub a couple of times a week, and I just wouldn't bother training. I'd say it's easier to go to the pub. Yeah. Fuck it. But I definitely get 1 or 2 sessions in a week, but I like 3 or 4, and 3 would be the bare minimum. But I was getting 2 in, and I think I did 1 week. And,
but that's still semi-consistent. You're just being a bit shit. But in terms of extended layoffs where you don't do any jiu-jitsu or don't roll at all.
I think, and I know it's a shit thing to say, because I was thinking about this when he asked it, and I was saying it depends on how much you want it, really, because you'll always put time into things that you want, won't you? So whether it's drinks with friends or even just going to call over and see your mate, because time is precious, isn't it? And I think maybe it could be a mixture of maybe you're feeling a bit bad about where you are in it, because that happens to me, as I say, it's like a roller coaster. I'm up and down how I feel about jiu-jitsu the whole time. But I think that showing up, and it's such a fucking cliche thing to say, that people say, oh, just show up, but it does help. It's if you're there even a bit, and Bobby Churchhouse even said the same thing last week. He was like, I didn't think he was talking about, I didn't know I was going to get back into it. He'd done 3 classes and he's like, I wish I hadn't left.
Yeah.
But it mightn't be like that you do 3 classes and it might take you 4 weeks. It's a different spark in everyone, and maybe you're going after a long layoff, you'll come back and you'll feel shit and you have shit rolls, and then it might even send you into more of a depression.
They say discipline will take you a lot further than motivation will. In the sense that look, it's good to be motivated, and you do need to be motivated to come back. So it's when we were talking about coming back from injuries, it's find that thing that when you first started jiu-jitsu, that fun that made you want to keep it up. Maybe stop focusing too much on the winning and the losing.
Don't be worrying about tapping
exactly. Focus on something specific that you find fun, a specific part of the game, whether it's guard passing, whether it's look, you could just be I just want to learn to berimbolo, I just want to go upside down. And you could just focus on getting into positions to do that. And if you find yourself doing something you enjoy, then it becomes less of an effort.
I suppose that's a good point. You could even just do positional sparring, just if you like taking people back. Saying, do you mind if we drill for a while? That's what I wanted to do yesterday. I sat out 3 rounds, and as I was talking to you today during text, I'd never sat out 3 rounds since I started jiu-jitsu. I can't remember ever sitting out 3 rounds. I've sat out 1. I don't think I've sat out 2, but 3 in a row never happened in my life. And Steve, shout out Steve, the fucking absolute Iron Man. He was standing across the room with his hands in the air, going, "Mike, you gonna roll at me?" And I'm like, "No, I couldn't be arsed." And he's like, "I'll leave a start from guillotine." And I was like, "No, I just can't be fucked." I did, even the joke didn't pick me up, which fucking, if you know me, I just love guillotines. I'll go for them even when they're not there. I'll lose a good position to go for a submission that isn't there. But I think it's very hard to speak to other people's mental thing, like how they feel, their attitude towards things. But I think getting in the door will bring you 50% there, and it mightn't be the rolling with people, but other people, it's say you find someone fun, someone maybe try and stick around
someone
with
you have a crack with as well. Maybe if it's not even something specific within jiu-jitsu, it's people you have a crack with. And I know that in Brian's situation specifically, he's moved from Reading, so that might be part of it. You might not have the same little community that he had at Matt House, but you're not going to build that by not turning up. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, it is going to be a bit awkward again. It is going to be a bit shit. But I don't know, when you've had layoffs or when you've not been able to train, because for me, obviously COVID was the longest layoff I've had, because I just moved down here. Whereas we were talking to Andrew last week, and he was in his little COVID El Camino, the COVID gym, and I know that, or allegedly, that I think some of the people from my old gym up north were still training through COVID, because they had that community already built, and people, we obviously, Zach told the story about when, Connor had come over with his gi and his tool bag as if he was going to do work on the house, but I had just moved down here, so didn't have that community, so wasn't really training at all through
Yeah,
through
I'm sick
COVID.
into Squish. Squish was like training because he had the garage with Aidan, and he brought James, I think, one of the lads in with him to train. 2 white belts getting trained by a brown belt and a purple belt at the time. And I just think like, oh my God, that would have been magic. Like I would have went every evening, no problem. Like, I would have paid.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, but and like now, we.
Yeah, it's hindsight's great, isn't it?
Yeah, now we'd be part of that, but obviously we didn't know these guys at this point.
Yeah.
So it was like, for me, that was the longest layoff, and then it's been 4. I think it was 3 weeks of no rolling at all, and then flow rolling just for a week. So I think this is my 5th week. Sorry, and I've just come back to rolling with people lighter than me yesterday.
Yeah, but to be fair, like you were coming in and you were doing even though I remember you came in, you tried to do the forward run, and said no, that fucked the hip, but you still stayed and done the technique, and then like you were going 3 times a week and doing technique, like. I mean, 3
or 4. I went back because my routine's normally like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. So if I was I was pretty much doing that. If I was in town on the Saturdays, I was doing it. But that was what I was going to ask, because like for me, after COVID, after my ribs, like it was never difficult to come back, and like has it ever been tough? Like, because for me, I really, really enjoy the training. So it's never like, I never feel like, there might be a little bit of anxiety of like, oh, am I going to be unfit? Am I going to be shit at jiu-jitsu? Which is, the answer is usually yes to both. But
imagine how I feel.
But like there's never, I'm always like kind of chomping at the bit, for want of a better saying, to get back in there. So I wondered, like, do you ever find it difficult getting back on the mats? Cause
not to get in there, but as I said, like I'll probably substitute my time for something else. It's usually alcohol, to be fair. Like I'll just say to the missus, oh, you don't have to cook tonight. We'll go down to go across the road to O'Neill's or whatever. I'll get you we'll have 2 dinners, and I can have a flake of pints then, and it's just a good excuse. And I do miss it though, and I actually wish I could train more than I'm training now, but it's hard to do fucking 5 hours.
My body doesn't hold up if I was like, because I normally do between 5 and 7 hours, but once, like when I was doing the comp prep, I was doing about 7 to 9, and my body just started falling apart. Like the rib pop injury was like a real freak accident. It wasn't like I think
that's the same thing that happened to Connor lately as well with his knee. He was just stretching his knee and something popped like.
Yeah, his meniscus is shout out Connor. He's obviously got surgery coming up soon.
Coach Connor.
He'll be back on the mats. Hopefully we're doing my BJJF in October, London. So we were talking about that yesterday. Do that, and then the English Open as his triumphant return from injury. So looking forward to getting him back on the mats and rested up. But the reason I ask about finding it difficult coming back is because, like, obviously if you'd want to train jiu-jitsu, go train jiu-jitsu. The more you do it, the easier it will become, the more you build a community. But also, on the flip side of that, there's no obligation.
No, you don't have to.
You don't have to train jiu-jitsu.
No.
Nobody
will miss you if you're gone too long. And then when you're back, you'll be welcomed with open arms. Might be the same in every other gym, but
obviously whenever you're back in Reading and you train at Mat House, you'll always be welcome. But like if you're not feeling it, take a bit of time off, do other stuff, explore other hobbies. Take up singing.
I get FOMO for competition now, to be honest. Like seeing you compete there lately, and I haven't booked anything still, and that kind of a return to competition now is something that's actually really bothering me in the back of my mind. I'm mad to get in, but I don't feel I'm good enough, and you'll never really ever think you're good enough, but when you're not having good sessions and then you're going competing, it's like you're already going in a bad mindset.
So maybe that's like the kind of similar thing for you.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly how I feel. It's like I haven't done competition, and I'm not going to count the last one because didn't prepare, didn't do anything.
What was that? The Europeans All Stars. Yeah.
So because we all know, like that was actually that was the time when I was drinking.
When you collapsed, collapsed in the wheelbarrow.
No, I don't know, man. I really want to get back in comps. I'm looking at that Surrey Open, but it's a couple of weeks away, and don't think I'm ready. Don't have a gas tank. Gas tanks get worse.
Yeah, it's because you always out drinking.
Not always, like.
Yeah, enough. It's tough
you see, from an Irish person's perspective, out drinking like would be every day, and it would be like 6 pints every day. Whereas if you only had 1 or 2 every day, that's not really drinking a lot.
But so you've got to rip the band-aid off and just sign up for a comp, start doing fucking off the mat work to get your cardio up, or just
I need to put in.
Stop sitting out rounds and build your cardio up by just getting more reps on the mat. And,
Yeah.
And if you want to fall in love with jiu-jitsu again, come back to Mat House for a few days, roll with people you know, remember how much you enjoy actually doing it, and then bring that newfound or rekindled passion back to your old gym or back to the new gym in London, and hopefully then you'll be able to build a bit of momentum, remembering the things you enjoyed about it from Mat House. That would be my advice.
Yeah, I'll be honest, like I'm really enjoying the training at the moment because
the training.
No, I'm only on test, but lost my train of thought there. But no, all the blue belts that were promoted in at the last grading, there were so many people on the mat the first Monday after grading that there was like 15. Well, I won't say 15. There was like 7 or 8 people who had to sit down off the mat, and we have a big space, like.
Yeah.
And I just thought that's so cool, and I'm enjoying that there's a lot more people, and I don't fancy my chances against a lot of them. I put a story up there last night going in, and I was like, what fucking new blue belt is going to fuck me up tonight and tap me? And one of the lads who's not into jiu-jitsu goes, Jesus Christ, Mike, have a bit of fucking positivity before you're going in there anyway, will you?
Self-respect.
Yeah.
Dom said that at the promotion, didn't he? He's like, if you think any of these guys isn't worth the belt I'm giving him, he's like, you have a roll with them.
Yeah.
Tell me it's easy.
He gave him a good shout, and it was a funny thing last night. I'm going to spill it out there, even though he was going on with a blue belt in the advanced class. I was like, I thought it was for someone who missed it, and we were myself and yourself included, were outside going, geez, he's going to get someone in the blue belt.
In the beginner class before.
Yeah, the beginner's class.
Advanced one. Yeah.
And I'd say like one of them must have thought it because he was walking around the mats with the blue belt, and next thing he just ended the class and no got blue belt. And I went up to him after and I said, you're after leaving us all down there. I said, and I'd say a few of those people are probably after feeling like they got a gut punch. She's like, what are you talking about? I said, you're walking around with a blue belt in your hand before you did the thing, and that's when you normally give them, it's at the end. And he's like, if they wanted a blue belt, they should have came to the graduation.
So the grading.
Or the grading, sorry.
He was literally just taunting him.
It was actually hilarious. So, it turned out Mike, I'm talking into the mic. It turned out somebody had actually borrowed a blue belt and was given it back washed, and that's what it was.
Phenomenal the way it turned out. You could see a few hungry eyes there.
The eyes were wide open, people had their belts tied, they were all sitting up correctly.
It's always nice after the gradings, the fresh belts. Everyone, you get a bit of a shuffle round in the classes as well, because obviously a lot of the guys that don't come to advanced start coming to advanced,
yeah.
And it's nice to get those new roles and those new looks. Obviously, none of them were actually down last night when we were down there, or I didn't roll.
There was a couple of them I didn't roll, but I'm doing that.
But looking forward to it. I think a few of them listen. A few of them have listened previously anyway. So shout out.
A lot of good guys. Yeah, if you're a new blue belt in my house, shout out to you. We'll see you some stage in the mats.
I'll learn all your names gradually, I promise.
You'll get one of your first taps of the new advanced guys off me. So just come looking.
Mike won't remember your name maybe ever, but I'll definitely get through them all gradually. Replace the numbers with names, but yeah, from getting back onto the mats, you kind of mentioned something about, what was it in the chat that you wanted to talk about? Was it gym Nemesis? Nemesis.
Yeah.
Whenever anyone says the word Nemesis, I always think of that quote. Do you know what Nemesis means? A righteous infliction of retribution manifested by an appropriate agent, personified, in this case, by an horrible cunt. Me.
Bricktop, greatest line.
From Snatch, Bricktop. So, what does Nemesis mean to you, Michael?
I used to think Aiden was my nemesis, to be fair. I don't think I have one at the minute, but Aiden was just going around darsing me all the time. He was just a young lad, and I think when we first started, I might have tapped him once or twice or something like that, a couple of times. But
for the few people that don't know Aiden, just quick backstory. He was one of the lads that trained in the COVID lockdown. He was a white belt then. That was, his old man was a purple belt, and one of his old man's best mates was a brown belt, now a black belt. Luke, episode 5, Squish, episode 15 is the brown belt, and they just got loads and loads of mat hours in. So we came to Mat House having
after COVID. Doing about 2 years of training.
As a white belt that was had a solid amount of mat experience and broke a lot of hearts.
I'll be honest, I'm just going to shout him out. I'm not going to name names or anything, but he tapped everyone from white to purple with darces, and highly skilled people were getting darsed. And I won't as I say, not going on names. Shout out to Aidan though. He's back around again because uni's off, so we're seeing him on the mats again. So it's good to see the cocky little box around. And I know for people that aren't from around, but just imagine someone that's really young and cocky and annoying and that can fucking submit you, and that's Aidan.
All the worst bits of a young 20-year-old.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
And he's actually a nice fellow, but he's just a pure prick in the mat.
He's alright, mate. He's alright. But yeah, so what does it mean to you? So you say you thought it was. So at that point, what did you think a Nemesis was? Because
I just think it's someone that you're always going to roll against. What I think there'd have to be a little bit of, I don't want to say hate. Don't want to say competition either.
Competitive spirit.
I don't want to say competition because I'm competitive with everyone, but I think this is someone you really want to it means something to you to tap.
Yeah.
And your roles mean something, so it probably goes against them. But I don't really think I have that with anyone. I think I go with everyone with the same kind of thing. I don't have.
Because I think there's an important distinction between a nemesis in terms of what I see a nemesis as in.
What do you think is a nemesis?
It's
your opinion.
It's worse than an enemy for me. I'd like to hope that I don't have any gym nemesises, nemesi, or whatever the word is. I'm hoping I don't have any, but if somebody sees me as their nemesis, then.
Big up you.
Kind of happy to wear that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Happy to wear that title. So, it sounds kind of gangster, but no. Obviously, there's people you're chasing, right? That for me has always been a big thing. There are people that you're chasing, and there are people that it's on with. Obviously, there's
certain roles.
There's a blue belt. There's without naming people, a purple belt and a brown belt that are both very technical and both my weight, and. They're obviously people I'm chasing in terms of I learn a lot from the roles, they're better than me, and I'm those moments when I catch something or get close to catching them with something, then those are really important moments or moments that stand out. And then there's the people that where it's on site, that the guys that you kind of got promoted with, that that whenever you have a role, that it's going to be it's good spirits and fun. There's some
people that give hard roles as well, which I don't really see as things either, but I find that you get this competition kind of role, there's some guys that just give you a competition role every time you roll them. It's Jesus Christ, lads, you know what I mean? Keep for the competition or compete, you know what I mean? But I mean, that makes you better as well. I think we talked about that as well.
There's we did in the rough rolls and at first it's tough rolls, but and that's like Barnsley for me. They're always just cardio intense, tough, really competitive. But there's no ill spirit there. I think if I felt like a nemesis, to be honest, mate.
I think the gym culture is too good in our place to have a nemesis, to have anyone to have someone that is that much.
You were talking about egos at the start. Whenever I think there has to be a bit of ego involved for the whole nemesis thing to come around. And for me, if ever I feel that, and don't get me wrong, I'm there's been more than one occasion where I've either had a tough role with someone new or someone's caught me in something that I'm not happy with, and if I ever feel that sort of competitive spirit building with someone in the gym where it's becoming not a fun competitive spirit, it's becoming a little sour, I will go out of my way to kill them with kindness and start being you're alright mate, and try and find some common ground with them, so that then I'm this guy's my mate again now, so then it becomes
it's all in your own head, isn't it?
A good natured, I'm a fucking lunatic.
No, I respect exactly what you're saying. There's 5 different people. It's like I said to you, when you go home, I'd be talking to, and the shampoo bottle is telling me, you should fucking kill him, and the conditioner says, no man, you need to chill the fuck out,
But I think you need those people though that you've got a good competitive spirit with. We've got a good little. I think no matter what way you're what way you like to roll, or whether it's competition or seriously or just for fun, I think there's more than one person to fit all those things in our gym. So I think we're fairly lucky that way. If you're looking for this kind of a role, you can get these 3 or 4 people. If you're looking for a harder role, you get these 3 or 4 people. If you're trying to go against someone is going to fuck you up, and you're just going to try to give your best of that, I mean, it's fairly, because I think everybody else has their own mind as well, don't they? Their own ego and stuff, how they roll. Some people don't want to be hard; they want to be more technical, and does that make sense? Yeah, 100%. Coming back from this injury, actually, it's the first time. When I was maybe a white belt, I had a few injuries then, but was never really good enough to appreciate it. I was kind of definitely a 2-speed white belt. I either wasn't rolling or I was going 100%. That was it. But now coming back from this injury, I you know, actually having people that I can roll with, knowing that they're going to be, you know, super dialed in at the like tempo I need. They're going to be aware of where the injuries are, and like having so many rolling partners that are actually able to kind of
work around an injury.
Even people that I know are very, very hard rolls, like, you know. So it's good. It's a sign of a good gym culture, and if you know your rolling partners are able to give you the looks you need, regardless of what spot you're in. I guess we've said that a million times. But what are you saying?
I was saying when I was rolling with Squish before, my elbow was fucked after the time I got armbarred. I was like, look, my right arm's fucked, and he's like, fine. He just elbowed me on my left arm about 10 times. Arm bars on the left arm every time. Like, I was like, all right, that's sound. But it was so hilarious as well. Like, you know,
the left one's fucked as well.
It wasn't that. He just kept going for it. It was like, he's like, well, you said your right one's fucked, so I'm going to go for the left. Okay. But sorry, we're shouting the crap out in that house, but it deserves it anyway. It is.
Yeah, no, we've done enough. We haven't done any away days recently.
No, man, we must book something in.
I was saying that, like Zach, shout out Zach. He was posting, I think.
Zach Smart, episode 10.
Yeah, London Grapple. I think he was at today, and he was saying that there's a taco spot nearby, so I'm doubling for that. So
yeah, I'm up for anything.
Some jiu-jitsu and some tacos, but we will. There's quite a few gyms popping up, like in the local sphere. Like, you know, maybe I'm just hearing more about some. So I think let's get some Saturdays and Sundays booked in, and head out and about. Yeah, we'll look a bit more content for the few listeners we have, and hopefully they'll enjoy it, and we might expand our listenership. Yeah, might meet some cool people that we decide to bring along. So just before we finish and I move back to what we were going to talk about at the start, like, do you have a gym nemesis at the moment then, Mike? I don't think I ever had one. Aidan, I would have thought one, but... You had the illusion of one? No, I don't. No, okay. No, it's not like that. I know I've had conversations about other things, but no, I don't ever see like that, no. Okay. Cool. I would go into it if I did feel that way. Like. No, I'll leave that one then. You're looking like I'm not trying to say it. I'm just trying to fatigue. I know who you're talking about, but it's not. No, I don't find that nemesis. Boring podcasting, but I'm trying to stir some shit, sorry guys. So you put this in the chat, like what's going on in terms of like... Oh, it's bullshit. Yeah. We have to cover it, I feel. Do you feel... Yeah, like, go on, mate. The floor is yours. So, I mean... We'll go Zuckerberg and Musk first, because that's the biggest load of shite ever. In my opinion, right? Maybe if it was a charity thing, and they set it up online and a pay-per-view thing, and they said, because I was thinking about it after we had words, and I actually talked to Zach about it weeks ago when it was announced and that, and it's not for the UFC, okay? Don't be shoving this down my fucking throat on UFC. It's top of the pops platform. It's not to watch two white belts fight. Okay, we can go to a fucking local promotion to watch something like that. Do you know what I mean? Or go Reading on a fucking 2:00. You'll see more entertaining stuff like. It's kind of fun watching all of that though. All of the above that you've just said, I'm up for. Yeah, but they're going to make so much money off it, and they have money. Which is what I'm saying. If it was for charity, they did it on a different promotion, something like that. I just don't like seeing. And this is me on my armchair, of course, like, but I want to see UFC caliber people in the UFC. I don't want to see, like, the CM Punk's done it. You seen that, wasn't worth it. There's amateurs coming in that it's taking shine from people that should get it. And Dana White then, like, we don't, like, in one hand says, we don't show any of the crap fights. We don't do these gimmicky stuff. And then he has the biggest gimmick in the world. The owners, the 2 billionaires from 2 social media companies. Yeah, at least it's... let the Saudis do it. At least it's an even fight. Kind of, but Elon is probably fucking 10 kilos heavier and he's 6 foot something, isn't he? And Zuckerberg is whatever. They look bigger, and I could be wrong. I think it'll be... Because they're not the same weight class either, I don't think. I could be wrong on that. No, I think he's way bigger, but I think Zuckerberg's been training longer. I don't really know much about it, to be honest. Either do I. I'm just armchair. Most of my engagements through the memes, but I did see that Zuckerberg was training with Volk and Izzy, and then Gordon Ryan Musk and Lex Friedman and Danaher, and that. I think in terms of the crack, you'd have a much better time with Izzy and Volk. Yeah, definitely. Like Aussies are just, and Kiwis are fucking just. I think because obviously he's training with Craig as well, when Craig Jones. So that's definitely the route I'd go. But I definitely watch it. I'm not going to lie. Like I told you, I enjoy watching two white belts fight to the death on the corner of the mat on a Friday afternoon.
Yeah,
so of course I'm going to watch
No,
this.
there is that, like, but I'm just saying for the professional side of it too. But quick question for you. Do you think Volkanovski has always had great jiu-jitsu, or do you think we're only noticing it now because as the jiu-jitsu community we know who Craig Jones is and we can see him at the side of his cage in his team, because he never really had to use, like, you can see he's gone miles better on the ground.
Yeah, I think
in his last two fights.
Everyone in all the interviews I've seen about Volkanovski from third party, it's that like he's brilliant at bringing, like, because obviously he's trained out in Australia. You've not got as deep, especially at the top level of MMA, as deep a talent pool as you do in the States or even in Europe. But he's brilliant at getting the right people in to work with to develop his skills in a certain area when he needs to. So I'd say, like, he's probably already he's fucking was champion before he started working with Craig.
He was wrestling,
He'd done a bit of work with Craig maybe before he got the title. But anyway, like, you know what I mean? Before him and Craig met, he was an experienced MMA fighter. He's probably had... He's
a wrestler in Australia, a national wrestler or something as well.
Did he have to beat a kangaroo? It's not really it's not really a big sport there, mate. As someone who lived out there as well, like, jiu-jitsu and grappling is huge there now, but wrestling, like, it's not like got the wrestling culture like America has. It's a bit more like here in terms of...
That's like, fair, yeah.
Yeah, so...
Or Dagestan.
But yeah, I think he's just a hard-working motherfucker, and I think that shows. And so when he's got the right people in the room, he asks the right questions and puts in the grind. And
I think he's my favourite champion.
He's tough not to like, isn't he?
It was Izzy, but like the way Izzy's carrying on there, fucking lady, I couldn't be arsed with him.
He's tough not to like, that's for sure.
So the other one then was...
from one clown show to another one.
Yeah, so more your forte, as you've done a bit of it, and I don't really have much interest in it, but... And look, shout out to guys that can get money and get, do you know what I mean, get the bag, as they'd say. But Fury versus Ngannou.
Yeah, I mean, happy for Francis, isn't it? Like,
yeah, no, you're always... I never begrudge. Yeah.
What I really detest about this is that Fury's an active champ.
Yeah.
In a sense, like, it shouldn't be this, like... I'm not a fan of the Mayweather exhibitions. You know, it's kind of go out gracefully once you've done your boxing match. The McGregor one was a big money fight. Fair enough. End it on that.
Yeah.
You know, at least that was at least that was a sanctioned boxing match. But whilst you're an active belt holding champion doing an exhibition match, like, even if it is loads of money, it's kind of like, I don't know. I can't, like, I'm armchairing like you say. You know what I mean?
But it's not like. Do you think like the Saudis are organising that? And I was like, I don't think, they reckoned, like, did they say Floyd didn't get even paid some of the money he was owed or something out of that McGregor fight or something?
No, I think it's that, like, Floyd doesn't pay people when it's his promotion.
Sorry,
but again,
we're all
could be slandering Floyd, but...
allegedly.
Fuck Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
Woman beating piece of shit.
Oh man, if you listen to this, fuck you.
Yeah, if you listen.
We don't want to listen.
He's got that much time on his hands. But no, I don't know. Again, the Fury and Ngannou fight, I'm going to watch it, but again, like with the Musk one, I'm not going to pay for either of them.
I'll be honest, I'll probably just watch highlights, because I don't think I ever watched fucking any of the latest boxing. That's why I'm saying I'm complete armchair on this.
Saying I'm not going to pay for it, we're going to get kicked off of Spotify now, aren't we? Zuckerberg, and it's owned by...
Spotify is owned by one of them, is it?
I think so.
I don't think so.
Oh, maybe not. Cool.
I could be wrong. I don't know.
Free.
We'll have to Google afterwards.
Yeah, man. Fuck it. But yeah, so...
Yeah,
simulation's definitely broken though, eh? Like, we've got this madness going on. Yeah,
it's just like fucking. Maybe there's an opportunity for this podcast to grow in the fucking outside of our own little bubble.
Oh yeah, for sure. There was something else actually I wanted to touch on today that I was going to say. So I'll set the scene actually very quickly. I sent Mike a podcast. I'm really into like folklore and kind of shit like that, but I'm also like quite like, you know, anything that's athletic and shit. So I don't know, people that have seen it will be aware of it. It was really big in Iceland and Scotland, like stone lifting, like where there'll be these stones at these kind of...
the Denny stones are Scotland.
Yeah, semi-sacred sites where they'll have a lot of, like, they'll be steeped in tradition. Like there's one in Iceland, for example, which is in like a famous fishing village. And back in the day, before you were allowed to be a fisherman, you had to lift that stone. It was like a rite of passage. And it turns out this was actually like a tradition that was common in Ireland as well, but it kind of went away during the famine. And I was listening to a podcast on that, and I was like, "This is a sick listen." listen to it. But someone else who's been big into the stones, that's also big in the jiu-jitsu community, is Dan Strauss, the Raspberry Ape. So I said to Mike, like,
I was wondering where this was going
about this, and Mike's response, like, Mike knew who he was, and said something about it looking like a yoke up the nose from hospital. But that slanderous comment aside, that this isn't why I wanted to bring it up. I'm not just throwing you under the bus. His reply, I was like, "What do you mean his beard?" And Mike was like, "Oh yeah, I can never see a beard." So, is in you just don't ever see beards, or is it something that you?
No, I didn't mean it like that. I meant I could never see his beard. I just thought, no, I couldn't. When I said I couldn't see the beard, I meant I didn't know that was hair.
It must have just been your vernacular in the way you said it. Oh, fuck, it's not as funny as I thought. I thought you actually had a thing where you couldn't see beards.
People would look so weird. But no, I couldn't. What I meant is I couldn't see the beard his beard, because I thought he actually had one of them things that goes up your nose when you're in hospital going across his face. Like. And then you said, we went a couple of lines longer, I think you said, you mean the pigment of the colour of his beard? And I was like, gotcha. And then I zoomed in and went, yeah, you fucking idiot. But that's just me, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, sorry to go down. I was wondering what you were saying about beards. That's just me and the way I write. If you're ever in a text conversation with me, you probably don't understand what I'm saying half the time. And if you've talked to me in person and you're not from Ireland, you probably don't have a fucking clue what I'm saying half the time either.
Yeah, half the listeners are like, regularly messaging me saying like, I like what you're saying, Ken, but I can't understand the other fella. But yeah, have you got anything else you wanted to bring up today? Or are we gonna?
Oh man, don't know. Just fucking we'll see how we're going with training and that. You know, I was enjoying it like fuck last week, and this week is just taking a fucking nosedive. So listen for more depressing things than me. I'm actually getting really good with this. Lucas taught me this cradle. Yeah, I'm starting to hit a lot of submissions from that, and I think it's actually starting to grow in my game. But I think it's getting to the point now where, and I don't know. Actually, this is actually something maybe I can ask you about this. So the guillotine, obviously, I often go for it and it's not there, and throwing myself under the bus. So now I'm doing it with the cradle because I'm really liking it, and I can hold people there fairly well when I get it in, and I have to make little adjustments on it, but I'm getting better and better. And it's not like the guillotine, because the guillotine is a submission, whereas the cradle, I can work 2 submissions off it, or I can get to mount, or etc. etc.
So you can work. It's a control position.
Yeah, so I can control and try and work where I'm going, whereas guillotine is just a straight up submission. And I probably hit that more than I should, but I'm trying to work with it. Have you found something that when you were, because like you have a couple of submissions you like to run from one to another, have you found that you've put a lot of time into one that didn't, what would you say, it didn't give back the time you've put into it, that you said, no, I just have to abandon this, and you went for something else?
Like where you went with the question, by the way, I was like, thought you were going to ask something very specific to the position. No. I was going to be like, I am not the man to ask about this. This is not a jiu-jitsu kind of strategy kind of podcast too much, but you can ask like Luke or someone. But then, yeah, to be honest, mate, because of the positions and the kind of like the sequences that I do a lot, I haven't ever been like, I'm going to put a load of time into this position. Instead, I was like, I keep finding myself in this position. Let's get really good at it.
Okay.
So it was kind of like, you know, armbars and different armbar setups is something I do a lot. But that was like at white belt, I didn't, you know, at white belt I wanted to have a bit more design in terms of like, you know, delusions of grandeur. I wanted my game to look like this or look like that. But in reality, I wasn't finding myself in those positions frequently enough as a white belt to practice them. So then I ended up playing to my strengths, and then that ended up building. I think, you know, we talked about kind of building a game, and I think that does happen somewhat organically in a sense that like your natural body type will dictate certain things that work well or badly for you. Your natural athleticism, your strength, all your attributes will help play into your skills.
Yeah, I think what you're saying there is finding yourself in the same position. And like when I can't pass, half guard is a position that I find myself in a bit, and cradle is a good position from that. And if you can actually get out of the half guard and have it, it's fucking.
But you mean in like top half?
No, you still have it, but your 2 legs are free. So I'm usually still in half guard while holding cradle, and I can get submission from there. Okay. So like it actually helps more, I think, if you're locked up into me. But yeah, it's first technical thing I've ever asked about jiu-jitsu.
Nice.
Maybe I'm growing.
Yeah, no, man, lots of positive stuff. But yeah, we'll get some road trips in. So we've got some different content. I haven't actually spoken to you about this, but Benny might be about next weekend. So I was going to say, like, not next weekend, around next week when we're recording. He's fucking off to Asia in a week or so. So it might be good to give him a little last hurrah, have him on as one of the boys, like we did Tommy Crionche, and just talk some shit. He's going to be doing us an intro and outro, but we haven't really given him
heard anything about that.
Well, to be fair, we haven't given him any creative input. He asked for what we're looking for, and I was like, looking for you to make it, to be honest, mate.
I went on ChatGPT and got it to write a poem about us, which is fucking hilarious. But I have to actually give one shout out. I'm going to give it to Blue Eyes Ben. He tattooed himself.
I've never met that guy, but he follows me on Instagram off the back of the podcast.
Yeah.
We follow each other, and like, looks like he lives a cool life, man. He seems like the sort of geezer I'd get on with.
Yeah, no, he's safe as fuck, but he gave himself swallow tattoo his class, but unfortunately I think he missed the mark by giving himself a swallow tattoo. But he said, can I get a shout out on the podcast? And I said, for sure.
He's fucking covered in him anyway. So
no, he's sound. We'll get down to Monkey Muay Thai, I think it's called, in Maidenhead, submission grapple.
I'll get some rolls in. But yeah, no, like I say, follow along with his journey. He looks like
because he said he was asking actually when's the next time we might be calling him down, and I said I couldn't really answer because we're trying to start our own little thing on Sundays for maybe getting ready for a comp or something. We'll talk more about it if we
give it in a few weeks, let my ribs get better, and then hopefully chat about that a bit more as well.
Yeah, if it goes down that way, but in between maybe we might see Impact MMA again, maybe hit another gym in Salisbury, see Jack in London, maybe a few bits and pieces here and there. We'll see what happens.
Well, we might do fuck all, and
we might,
tune in to find out, guys.
But that's basically. You happy enough?
Yeah, man. I think that's reaching its natural conclusions. Where do people get at us if they want to do anything, Mike?
Degen BJJ for a pod for everything. Can you if you can follow the Spotify, and if you can 5-star rating, please, all that kind of crack. Like, follow, share, subscribe. But the rating thing boosts, and if you download the podcast as well, it actually helps. Now, I don't care if you're good enough to listen. I'm not going to be bothered if you do, but if you have the time to download it, that would be perfect as well, because it gets us up in the charts.
Do it on your work Wi-Fi. Download it. No cost to yourself. You just listen for 30 seconds and delete. We went from 52 to 92 in the wrestling. I watch the pods every now and again, but we're in the top 100 of wrestling, and I mean, Craig Jones was number 6, like. So that'll tell you. But then you're also lumped in with the WWE. I know people probably don't care, but it's just something that I found. Because there is no BJJ tag. It's wrestling. But everybody seems to go under wrestling or MMA. And I think if we went under MMA, I think we might actually be in a little bit further up. Fuck it. We're closer to wrestling than we are to MMA. For sure, bunch of oddballs there.
But please follow and share us, lads. And if you have any comments, any feedback, there's a WhatsApp group. DM Instagram is always the best. Yeah. And we do we appreciate everything. We're hitting higher numbers than we're expecting at the moment for the episodes we're putting out, and we do appreciate all the listens we're getting.
Yeah, fucking right. Codes, what is it? Degen10 xmarshall.com.
Yeah, xmarshall. Degen10 for all your
buy some shit. It's great quality.
Look at if you like my OnlyFans rash guard, that's where I got it.
Yeah. So yeah. Cheers, Mark. It's been good catch up. Good to have a catch up, just the two of us again. So we'll see what next week brings. But yeah, thanks for listening, everybody. Much love. As always, play it to your nan.
See you guys.